tone as carbon.
What do you mean by tone?
Same tone, same key of E. Same key of E, 40.5 hertz. The next one would be like 81 hertz. You go to silicon, it will double up and would be 162 hertz. You'll go to cobalt and it'll be 324 hertz. It's take the angles of incidence or the tones that they create, their color. Like you can turn color back into sound based upon, it's the same wavelength, it's just twice as long or much longer. So all you have to do is keep dividing light by 2. You keep dividing light by 2 and you'll ultimately get back to the audible sound of it.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea what he's saying. Maybe he's just operating on a plane, operating on a plane of existence that is like way too high IQ for me to understand. All I know is serve top of the hour ad break, eat hot chip and lie, bro. I'm sorry, I can't tell if what he's saying, he says it convincingly, whatever the he's saying, it seems correct. Divide the light by 2. What does that mean? Like, what is he do? I don't know what he's saying at all, bro. I don't know what he is saying at all. Here's the analysis of this. No, absolutely not. That is insane. If you think I'm going to read this level, like if you think, what? This is a AI guy. I'm not reading that either.
Because there was a relationship between light and color, sound and tone, matter and shape. Walter Russell's periodic table that he put together. Now you compare that to Mendeleev's periodic table and you'll see something completely different. It's unwinding.
Whoa.
And you see there's a relationship that hydrogen.
So you had figured this out at a young age?
I had already seen this. This was all inside of that palace. I had access to it. And I knew the relationship.
So you saw this in dreams?
I saw it as a circle. Everything was a full circle laid out. And each area was just expanding, like wrapping a rag around your hand. The first wrap, it's so tight. This is how I saw it more so, but as a vortex, you'll see there's a relationship between hydrogen, carbon, silicon, cobalt, rhodium. They're all bonded. They're all sit as the middle point between 2 noble gases. So those things don't really exist. It's only one substance. Now the problem is the first thing that we're able to perceive is hydrogen. That's the first visible element because before it is too dense for us to perceive it. You understand what I'm saying? As you reach it.
No, Joe does not understand what you're saying. You want to know why Joe doesn't understand what you're saying? Because I don't understand what you're saying. And if I can't understand what you're saying, there ain't no way Joe Rogan, who is a self-described ape, understands what you're saying at all.
Into the next octave, the carbon octave, and they call that a bisexual tone because the carbon has 2 tones to it. It has a negative side and a positive side. The part where lithium behaves, lithium is contractive, beryllium is contractive. Boron is contractive, but the moment you get to carbon, you balance it out. Gets to a perfect balance of plus and minus 4. So it's a double tone. Nitrogen is -3, oxygen is -2, fluorine is -1. Now the balance of this, all of those are mates. Fluorine and lithium naturally mate. If you have lithium bonded with any other element, the moment that fluorine is introduced, it will break all bonds violently so it can bond with fluorine. Same thing with beryllium and oxygen. That's why it said, and what they've tried to keep from us, if you want to break water into its component parts of hydrogen and oxygen, all you have to do is introduce beryllium or the sound of beryllium and oxygen.
What does he mean by the sound of beryllium? Okay. I'm trying to pick up what he's putting down, okay? What does that mean? The frequency of beryllium? Like if you just so each chemical has a frequency attached to it that and the frequency itself can basically create that chemical in the real world without actually, or make other chemicals react to it as though it exists by just vibrating it? Is that what he's trying to say? We don't have certain... Isn't that literally, if that was true, wouldn't that be you just fart into your gas tank, and if you hit the actual brown note frequency of petroleum, then all of a sudden you just, you filled up your gas tank? Isn't that how that would work? He's like, yeah, I'm actually in my basement hitting frequencies for enriched uranium.
And will violently break away from any other thing, even hydrogen, to bond with that beryllium.
Yes, they have chemical frequencies, sort of, that will produce specific ranges of light when the electrons fall back down. But if I just use light, that doesn't mean I'm going to make up new chemicals with shit that isn't there. Not exactly. Everything gives off a vibration tone. He just doesn't understand what it means. Okay, give me more of Terrence Howard. Now I need to understand his fascinating mind.
So you believe that the sun is the origin of these planets?
Of all the planets. Every solar
solar
star within its solar system gives birth to all of these other planets. This is what Walter Russell had talked about. This is what Neil deGrasse, and they attacked him for, because he talked about the drift, this natural drift, and that didn't make more sense. And they didn't have the idea of dark matter and dark energy then.
Right.
They didn't even come up with that. And now we understand 4% of the universe is visible,
right,
and 75% of it, 70% of it is dark energy, and 20-something% of it is dark matter. Unperceivable things. And they say that's because they needed to figure out how would they get the spin and create and have the galaxies.
Why do they
the
hold
spiral
together?
galaxies.
Right.
Well, what my team did, Chris Seeley, who's my he's my Scotty. We use the same simulator that they use at Princeton, and we took linchpins, and we haven't even.
I now understand why he's not in any movies. I remember seeing this guy in some movies back in the day, and I just kind of forgot about him, other than like whatever characters he plays in said movies. And now I totally understand why he's no longer in movies. Because he's out there cracking the code. What's the code? I don't know.
Introduced linchpins yet, but it'll be a great introduction for it. We took linchpins, this configuration of where 6 pentagons meet, and we put them in particular order.
He brought props.
There's a link for that right inside of the thing that James Pellegrini sent over to you, if you'll pull that up. And we rebuilt the planet Saturn. That's how I invented tangential flight, because your math, someone programmed that lie in there and lied to you and everyone, and all your fundamentals are off.
Well,
That's
certainly
the rest of
now.
the
I mean, I don't even know what to think.
You heard
Wait, I thought that was Alex Jones. I swear to God.
I don't know what just
you
happened.
heard that I said 1 × 1 = 2.
Do you know what just
Did you?
happened?
Wait, you heard that I said both of
I
y'all
was
had
bad
heard
at math. I was
No,
horrible at
both
it.
of y'all had heard that I said 1 × 1 = 2, didn't you? You had heard it somewhere. Somebody. That was
Yeah, I'd heard it.
And then everybody said I was crazy.
Yeah, they did say that.
Well, am I crazy, or is the calculator broke?
I mean, are those my only 2 options?
What do you think? What do you think? Or am I right? Or am I right? Am I right?
I don't know.
You
enough.
just did the calculation.
You need.
You just did the
Terrence,
calculation. Both of y'all did.
Terrence, you look. I don't know what you thought you.
Wait, is he saying 1 × 1 = 2? Terrence thinks 1 × 1 = 2. That's so dumb. 1 × 1 = 11, dude. Dumbass. Everybody knows that. Dumb. Yeah. I don't understand what is his calculation for 1 × 1 = 2. Like, what's the calculation? Like, how did he do that? Okay, let's keep going.
Without gravity. And it has the rings with no animation. It has the rings and the hexagon that's observed at the very top of it, without dark matter, without dark energy.
Oh my God. Why is it that every single person that is like mentally unhinged literally always become literalists? It is genuinely a observable phenomena. It is fascinating. People just get so caught up in the meaning of words and just lose their minds over it. Why? Why are people like this? It's like that one guy that really skinny dude who like talks about how eating is gay and loves Andrew Tate, who will be like, what's a bank? A river bank? Because a river flows, and that's exactly how money flows. So you have to see where the money is going. You know what I'm talking about? The that dude. If you study physiolinguistics, it gets deep and troubling. Bro, that's just what schizophrenia is. I think so. Yeah, sovereign citizens do this as well. They think that if they say the right words in the right order, that it's like a magical code. Like it's the Konami code where like, oh no, dude, you referenced the law. I'm surely not going to beat your ass now.
Without gravity, showing that it's an outward force pushing down that creates the planet. If you can pull that up, and he explains it out, it's like 3 minutes long. But if you play this is at the very beginning of my book. That's why I went on that at the Emmys, and I was like, look,
Motherfucker wrote a book?
I've got something else to do. I've been able to rebuild Saturn without gravity, with no animation, and then they clowned it.
I guess in a way it's like, you know, debate lords thinking that like they can actually change reality through debate, through healthy, reasonable debate. If I gish gallop my way out of this conversation, you will be owned, and therefore society will change. It's like, that's not what politics is. Politics is about a distribution of resources and power, okay? It's about who gets to have it. It's about who gets to wield said power. Communicating your desires can be helpful in that conquest, but that's all it is, okay?
Of course they did. Well,
clowned
this
it.
is not something that you could say in a soundbite, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you. This is not something like your explanation of these things and your description of the very nature of reality itself is not something that should be taken lightly.
No.
It's something that, like,
Thank you for saying that.
it needs to be laid out, and it needs to be slowly examined in because you've obviously spent a lot of time working on this. This thing here. So play this, Jamie.
Play it. And this is us.
What, Jamie?
Just to clarify what I'm going to play.
Yeah,
there's
and turn it up.
Hold on. There's
Yeah,
two different videos. One's long, one's short.
No, this is going to be the short one.
Okay. My computer just reset itself too because all
Okay.
these files freaked it out.
Oh, yeah.
The government, man.
I don't know. I was about
Well,
to tell
they
you.
don't-
It's Neil deGrasse Tyson. He
They
knows
almost
where
had
your
to stop.
They do
computer's
not
sitting.
video. It'll be the first one.
This one, correct? Gravity.
Gravity is an effect.
Okay.
It's an effect.
Okay.
without any gravity. And you'll see that you get a surface of the sphere on the inside with the heavier particles. So the colors
So
of
are you basically saying
What are they
saying
watching?
that you guys can recreate planets?
yes, this is a particle simulation of the physics involved in making
Yeah,
up the
just froze
planet
again.
Saturn.
Oh.
Wow.
Like all the yeah. So the heavier particles are creating the red and the green here where the hexagon is. And those are the heavier ones creating the shell of the planet. And then the outside are lighter particles that are a fluid that's creating the counter rotation of.
Is this him rebuilding Saturn without gravity? Is that what he's doing? Like he's rebuilding a 3D model of Saturn?
The atmosphere of Saturn, like we observe scientifically. And the red ones in the middle here are where the magnetic field is strongly polarized at the north and south poles, which gives you aurora borealis.
I have a question. Now, does this mean that you would be able to control what kind of atmosphere the planet has as well? Like you can change that? Because you can create it, that means you can change it.
We now have a system by which you can, it's the arrangement of linchpins and the axis on which they are spinning in relation to